of all, I want to welcome all of you back to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all of those who have been watching, who have subscribed. You are much appreciated. If you're new here, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and click that bell so you get notified and you don't miss a thing. Okay, that's all. So Nia Wade is the first guest in our guest lounge. This is going to be oh yeah, go ahead and say hi, girl.
Hey y'all.
So the guest lounge will be a place that it will be a playlist of all of the interviews that I have on my channel. And I plan on interviewing, women who are close to me, friends, family, even those that I may hear their unique story and want them to come on the channel. But the whole purpose is to show that we're all in this together and that we're building a safe space and a community where we can have these types of discussions for mothers, new mothers, pregnant women, non-pregnant women, all of the above, because it's important. Okay, Nia. So you just started a company maybe, a year ago?
Yes.
And it's called Birthing Journeys. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Okay. Well, once again, I'm Nia Wade, and I am the owner of Birthing Journey. And Birthing Journeys is a doula, birth doula and postpartum doula service for expectant mothers or just mothers in general. Okay.
How long has Birthing Journeys been in existence?
Okay, so Birthing Journeys has been in existence, I would say, for about a year now. Mm-hmm. I have fully dove into it, I would say about 8 months ago, where I was really pursuing people and trying to get clients and putting myself out there, which is really hard. It's very vulnerable, but it's needed, and just want to be able to help service the community.
Okay, that's beautiful. So how many births or patients have you attended so far, whether it's births or postpartum?
Right, yes. So I've had 2 births. One was a home birth, which is actually my first birth. Mm-hmm. And then the second was a hospital birth. And I've had one postpartum client.
Okay.
And they were very, very different births. The home birth was amazing to see, especially for the first time. Mm-hmm. I did my first birth in January. Then I did another one. The second one was in February, and then COVID happened. So they put everything to a halt in March.
Okay.
So now that things are kind of opening up again and people are getting more comfortable, I've started pursuing people and trying to continue to put myself out there a little bit more now.
Okay, good. Where can people find you and find information about your company?
Oh, awesome. So you can find me on Instagram, which is birthing.journey with an S, all one word. And you can find me on Facebook at Birthing Journey. And I also have a website, www.birthingjourneys.com. So you can find me at any one of those. And Instagram is usually my main way to communicate with people. And, I can send you my phone number and all that kind of stuff once we get it clean.
Nice. Now, do you only do local? And what is local for you? Do you travel?
Yes. So I try to service the South Houston area as far as birth is concerned. Clients using me as a birth doula because I want to be able to get to you in a timely fashion. So I would say 25 to 30 miles away from me, and I'm in League City. So that can usually take me to a little closer to maybe downtown if I'm speeding. But I don't condone speeding. Don't break the law.
No, we don't.
Especially not. But So that's what I try to do, but I like to service the South Houston area.
Mm-hmm.
So South Houston, Lake City, Webster, Dickinson, Galveston, Pearland,
Okay.
all of those surrounding cities.
Okay. So what exactly is a doula? You've said that a couple times, a birth doula.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yes. So a doula is somebody who provides continuous support during birth for a mom, and that can be emotional, physical support, but also providing education to help make moms make an informed decision about their birth experience.
Okay. Do you help them come up with birthing plans?
Yes, I can help you formulate a birthing plan. That's usually something that I would do after a consultation to kind of see if you want to, if you decide that you want to use me as your birth doula. We can kind of go through that to see what you want your birth experience to look like, and I can help you navigate and give you the information so that you're able to make the decision that you want to make.
That's very good. So, Nia, what inspired you to become a doula?
Okay, so I have a 1-year-old. I actually have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old girl, and then I have a 1-year-old daughter as well. And when I was pregnant with my 1-year-old daughter, I was actually finishing up one of my second to last prerequisite to apply for nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was doing it, I didn't seem like very fulfilled. I was excited about it because I work in the medical field currently,
mm-hmm.
and it was something to do in the medical field that I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started to dive into it, because I wanted to be a L&D nurse,
mm-hmm.
Because the nurses that I had with my first daughter, she was an amazing help. She was great. She was such a great support. She did a great job, so it kind of encouraged me to go ahead and go back and do that.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started to dive into like some of the politics of the hospital and stuff like that, for me, I just personally, it's not something that I really wanted to step into.
Yeah.
And I feel like moms weren't being informed after speaking to different moms and hearing like their birth stories and stuff like that. I felt like people weren't being informed as best as they could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up in not so great birth experiences. And being stuck in the hospital, being put back in the hospital because you haven't done your job effectively. So I decided, like, okay, well, let me look into something, just kind of find my purpose. Like, what is it that I really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And after I got pregnant with my daughter, started to look into it some more. And because I had unmedicated births, it was a choice to have unmedicated births. And I was like, there has to be, somebody that can help with moms, pregnant moms, like in birthing.
Mm-hmm.
And so started to look into it, and then I started to find out, oh, this is a thing. It's called being a doula, and it just fits me so well.
A couple of things I want to bring out with why you decided to become a doula, because I think that is so inspirational. Your story, how you just were following down this one path that seemed to be, outline. You've seen other people take that path, and it was like, okay, this is the path I want to go if I want to provide this type of service and support to women. Oh, I must have to be an L&D nurse. But one of the things you brought out that's so important is the politics in the medical field that end up causing patients to get the short end of the stick. And I think what we're seeing is a result of that. So as a country, we have one of the higher, can't say the highest, but one of the higher morbidity and mortality rates surrounding mother baby. And then, of course, as you extrapolate that through our population, Black women are getting the shortest end of that stick. Any patience that they have gets used up before it gets to us. So how can you, as a Black woman and Black woman doula, try
Mm-hmm.
to help our Black mothers and try to, regain some of that ground, while they're in the hospital or however they decide to have their births?
Yeah. So I think it's just about having conversations. I think that when women in general, when they think about birth, normally women think about having a birth experience in a hospital.
Mm.
And I think that women should know that, okay, well, that's not the only place that you can have a baby. You know that, right? Just being able to educate people and say, hey, like, you can explore your options. You don't have to be put in this little box. You can have your baby where, if it permits, if your care provider or whatever, if all of that checks out and you're able to do that, then feel free to explore your options and create the type of birth experience that you want to have.
Right.
But just be able to have conversations with women,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of putting it out there. Not being afraid to talk about it, because it needs to talk about. It needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Definitely. And that's probably women not feeling comfortable in the, like you said, the box, then they don't speak up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't advocate for themselves because they don't even want to be in that place having their baby. It was, I was told I have to go to a hospital.
Mm-hmm. And birth trauma. Birth trauma is very, very real.
Yeah.
People who've had bad birth experiences, and so now they're terribly scared to have a baby outside of a hospital because of what's happened before. I don't think people really realize how important it is to have a great birth experience.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's just, like, I'm just going there to have a baby, and I'm going. No, I feel like it kind of sticks with you. If you have a bad pregnancy, a bad birth experience, you're gonna remember that. And every time you see your little baby, you're gonna be like, "Whew,
right?
You know what I had to do for you. Right. You know what I went through for you,
right?"
And
affects your relationship.
And it would be joking. You love them, of course, but I don't think that it should have to be a traumatic experience. If you're educated and you have somebody there to help advocate for you, right, and not being bullied,
right,
or coerced,
right,
to do something because you don't have the proper knowledge.
Right. So now, what about prenatal care? Because as far as women go, it seems like it's mixed. Some women are like adamant. Like when I got pregnant, I knew I was going into prenatal care, whether that was with a midwife or a doctor. I was gonna be in prenatal care. I tried to get in the week after I found out I was pregnant. They were like, "No, we don't do that early." But then you have this other consensus of women who maybe don't know how important prenatal care is, and then you still have another group who choose not to do prenatal care because they want to focus on more natural. And I think there's more of a misconstrued sense of what natural means. And so then you have this group that's doing free birth, so they don't have any type of care, any type of medical care. So what would you say? What's your medical opinion as far as like whether we should do prenatal care? Is it something we can go without?
I think prenatal care is definitely important, because we always want to continue to check on the baby, and make sure you're up to par, so the baby is up to par,
right?
And the baby is healthy. That's the main concern, but you too, because you need to be around for the baby. And so prenatal care is definitely something that I encourage. Maybe not like jumping the gun, like, oh, well, let me jump in. I just found out I was pregnant. Like, like, it's okay to do that. Like, make an appointment as soon as you possibly can, especially if you had like prior history of like miscarriages and like health concerns and all of that. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff is very, very important. You want to make sure that you're healthy.
And most of the time, they don't even take you until 8 weeks. So
yeah, yeah. But like you said, what you were talking about, like the natural thing, like, oh, the natural thing, like, okay, like most people who think like that, I would recommend you probably using a midwife. It's the most free that you can be.
Okay.
And not with a doctor at like a hospital or that's affiliated with the hospital, because well, sometimes they do have midwives that are associated with hospitals as well. But yeah, I think that would be the better option for someone who doesn't want all of the politics and all the poking and prodding and all of that. I think a midwife would probably be the best option. But then you have people on the other hand who they have anxiety about, like, oh, like, is my baby okay? I want to do all the things to make sure that my baby is okay, and I want my baby to have the best, and I use that in air quotes because I don't want to say that doctors are the, the best.
I know what you mean, because people have that sense that,
yeah,
I'm going to this place where they have a certain type of education,
yes,
better than other. When really, like you said, it really just depends on you, your health, your pregnancy, and what you want. There is no right or wrong. There is no better or best. Because even
they both go through extensive education.
Very.
So
if you have a general OB there and a midwife, if you have a concern that is high risk, they're both going to refer you to a maternal fetal medicine specialist. So
yes,
it just and midwives also have doctors who are covering them in a sense. So if there's something that goes wrong, or they get you to the hospital, as needed. So you're not left out either way you go.
Right.
So
midwives they're also equipped to handle emergencies too. They are there to be able to handle emergencies, but then if they think that it's out of their hands, then of course they will make the decision to have you transferred to a hospital to do what needs to be done. But I don't think that they would do that if it wasn't absolutely necessary.
And I'm glad you clarified that, because I kind of just But so on that note, can having a doula lead to better pregnancy and delivery outcomes, and why or why not?
Oh yeah. I definitely it's definitely been proven that better outcomes, a low rate of for cascade of interventions is what I call it.
Okay.
And so like the lower C-section rates, lower use of Pitocin, lower use of just pain meds in general.
Okay, you were saying more attention you're able to pay more attention to mom.
Yes, able to pay more attention to moms and what their body is doing. So specific signs of labor, transition, things that mommy says and things that mommy will do and that her body will do to let us know, like, okay, this is going on, or this is what we need to do. Or just being able to move mommy and kind of help with pain if she decides to go without pain medication, because there are specific things that you can do with an epidural, if that's what you decide to do. But just being able to pay attention and to recognize and to cater to mom.